What's up, y'all? Welcome to the YouTube Live, where we are talking about something I feel like it's not sexy, it's really not cute, but like it really is one of the biggest difference makers in sustainable results that make sense. Speeding up sustainable results. I know that, like, in the world, we all kind of want like really quick wins, really quick hits, and like data could be that missing piece for you. So, in today's live interview, we're going to be talking with Rebecca Caldwell from Three Groves Marketing. We're going to be talking about your data is telling a story and how to use it for better results. So, she is currently backstage. And before we bring her on stage, let's talk about the sponsor of the YouTube Live. So, the sponsor is Member Vault, baby. So Member Vault has been sponsoring quite a few lives on my channel lately. And to be honest, like, Member Vault is such an incredible fit for me and like all of my digital products and selling them in a way that feels really good. I actually just created a YouTube video, I think it was last week or the week before that, about why I decided to move all of my digital products over from Kajabi to Member Vault. So I'm currently in the process of doing that. But I was with Kajabi for over 5 years and then started playing around with Member Vault. And it ticks all of the boxes. I'm obsessed with it for my digital products, for templates, and for selling things, for kind of like creating a hub of my content. It's an incredible fit. So if you want to learn more about Member Vault, like, this is kind of what mine looks like here. So you can see all of my digital products and the one that we're going to be talking about today, which is new if you are watching this live or before July 7th. The SEO data dashboard is currently on pre-sale. So I put the link to this new product in the video description box below. And if you snag it before end of day on July 6th, then you can get $50 off. And we're going to be talking about this later in the live, but you can go ahead and take a look if you're a curious Sally over there. And so if you want the full tea on Member Vault, why I love it, why I think it's incredible, the pros, the cons, the things to keep in mind if you are looking for something to use for digital products, your courses, memberships, and all of that, you can go to mariahmagazine.com/MV25. It's going to reroute you over to this review page right here. And it literally dives into Member Vault's features and options. We got an exclusive coupon code. This is the YouTube video that I was talking about, my favorite features, the pricing, and all of that. So if you are looking for an option for your digital products and you don't want something that's going to break the bank budget-wise, but also be extremely flexible, then definitely check out Member Vault. Like I said, going to mariahmagazine.com/MV25. So that's it for that. And now I think we're ready to bring Rebecca on stage here. So, Rebecca, hey, what's up, girl? Welcome to the YouTube Live.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited to chat about data. You love data. The way that you think about data and the way that you help your clients think about data is really, really fascinating to me. I'm a huge data person. I think that that's why I love SEO in terms of marketing, is because it's one of the only options that like give me so much data in order to like marinate and play with and make decisions. But before we get into that, can you just introduce yourself and let us know like who you are, what you got going on?
Yeah, my name's Rebecca, and I help business owners measure their marketing and build lead generation systems so that they can spend more time living their lives and less time behind their laptop, because that's what we all want, right? My family and I live at the base of the Great Smoky Mountains in East Tennessee, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. So we have the links to Rebecca's website, her social media platforms, all linked below. So if you're about like, after we start diving into things, if you're just like, oh my God, I'm obsessed, I need to know more about Rebecca, then definitely click the links in the video description box below. And she also has a YouTube channel, so you can search her over on YouTube, Three Groves Marketing. It should pop right up over there. But let's dive into data. So Rebecca, how did you get into the world of data? I feel like it's not something that people are like, in business, I want to focus on the data things.
Yeah.
Or did you?
This is such a good question. So I've been a huge nerdy bird like my whole entire life. So I have a sister that's 7 years older than me. And we would be in the car with my mom, and my mom would be like helping her with math problems. And I would be like, Mom, let me answer. And she's like, no, stop. So just from a little thing, I always like had a love for math. I love numbers. I have an accounting degree, and I started in the online space, kind of as a general VA, but then I realized like, okay, cool. I want to run Facebook ads. And that was right at the time of the like iOS apocalypse. And I quickly realized like, if we're not measuring our marketing, if we're not paying attention, if we're not looking at what's really happening, like look at all the data, it doesn't make sense to run Facebook ads. So like, I think being fiscally responsible ended up like kind of making me dive down the rabbit hole to, okay, how do I measure my marketing and how do we do it like effectively and efficiently? There's so many different platforms, so many different ways that you can do it. So that's how I ended up there. Just my nerdy little heart led me there, Mariah.
I always forget that I'm muted and I'm like saying 300 things. Yeah, I feel like especially when you're diving into like Facebook ads, that's something that you're putting money behind. It's not organic marketing where it's free and you kind of have more space to like test and tweak things. But like, I feel like you have to like data if you're going to go into like meta ads, like for Instagram and Facebook.
I think so. I also think though that data is so beneficial, even if you're just using your time and your energy. Like even if you're just marketing organically, paying attention to what's working is so beneficial. Like I'm a lazy girl inside my heart. I'm a projector. Like I like naps. Like I don't really like to waste any time. I like to be efficient. Like, so even when I'm marketing organically on Instagram, I'm trying to pay attention. Like, is this working? What's working? Do I need to do this or should I just like take a nap?
Yeah. And well, I mean, as an online business owner, like on the internet, there's so many different ways to grow our business, to market our business, to have people find us, for us to find people. And so a thing that I hear from clients and from colleagues in the space really is like a lot of the time people are getting burnt out because they don't know what to focus on. There's so many different ways to do this. Where do I put my energy? What is going to give me the biggest results? And then half of the time you ask them, okay, well, are you tracking things? And they're like, tracking what?
Yeah. Yeah. The vibes are just vibing. No, I totally understand. I feel like that's the same situation that I'm in with clients, and it's nice to know when things are working. So like inside my custom dashboards, I do a daily report. So it literally just drops in your email. I had a client, her name is Carrie, and she said, wow, this is so permission giving. Like sometimes that means, okay, cool, I got to get my peach in the gear. And sometimes that means like, cool, I'm not showing up on that at all because the things that I'm doing are already driving the traffic in the way that I need them to. So I get to hang out with my kid or like spend time on the farm or do whatever other things you want to do besides like spend your time behind your iPhone.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I feel like we jumped right into it in terms of like why we think data is important, but like, can you break down or give an example? Like what are we talking about when we're talking about data? Like what kind of data, what tools are you pulling from? Like, can we give a little bit more context for people that maybe like aren't as like the data isn't normalized for them?
Yeah. So I think it's any motion, right? Any action. So if we're talking specifically about like being a business owner who has an online presence, you're looking at what's driving traffic. And maybe that's traffic to your Instagram profile or traffic to your website. And once you have some traffic, then the next thing that you want to be looking at is conversions. So are people signing up for my lead magnet? Are people booking calls with me? If I have digital products, are they buying them? So those are kind of some of the basic things that we're looking at: traffic and then conversions. And generally, the way that I am looking at the data is with a suite of Google tools. So we're using Google Analytics to watch all that website traffic, see what's happening, see where the conversions are happening, where they're coming from. We're using Google Search Console for our SEO data. So like what keywords are we ranking for? How active our page, how active is our website, like what's happening on our website. And then generally I'm pulling all of that into Google Looker Studio. So Google Looker Studio is a free platform and you can pull tons of data. So has tons of different connections. You can connect Google Analytics to it, Google Search Console, YouTube data, anything that you can put inside of a spreadsheet, you can pull into Looker Studio, along with the 837 million different community connectors that can also connect to it.
Okay, cool. So when we're talking about data, specifically in this conversation, we're talking about Google Analytics, Google Search Console, which, y'all, if you are watching this and you do not have Google Analytics or Google Search Console set up, go and set those up right now. I have tutorials on my YouTube channel. It will take you a max of like 10 minutes. Those step-by-step tutorials do a really good job at just walking you through. And then once you have those set up, then you can play around in kind of like that next level of what you're saying is Google Looker Studio. So I remember it used to be called Google Data Studio, but then they did an update. Now it's called Looker Studio. And so it's kind of like, oh my God, like how many tools does Google have? Like we have to keep track of all of this stuff. And it can be a lot, but like if you're thinking of this, think of Looker Studio as kind of like the customizable dashboard that you can look at that brings in all of your other data sources so that you're not having to open up Google Analytics in one tab, Google Search Console in another tab, and maybe like 3 other more data sources in order to get an overview of like what's happening on your website. And that's why Looker Studio is pretty incredible, because it allows you to like visualize the data. You can add the charts, you can add the, I don't even know what they're called. Charts,
you can
visualizations.
Add so many things. I mean, charts, you kind of nailed it with the charts. Charts, you can add tables, you can add text, like so that you can make notes, like you can do tons of different things. You can, there's formulas that you can use so you can calculate your conversion rates. There's a million things that you can do inside of Looker Studio.
Yeah. And so that's why Looker Studio is so important. And so if you haven't, like if you're not on my email list or Rebecca's email list, we are currently launching a product where it is, let's just add this bad boy to the stage here. So it's the SEO data dashboard, and it's essentially like an all-in-one place for you to be able to see all of your traffic. And so this is a screenshot of my Looker Studio dashboard based on the template that we created for this SEO data dashboard product. And so it's going from having, like, you'll see right here, this is Google Search Console, this is Google Analytics, instead of having to flip between them. Now we're looking at this beautiful dashboard, which is branded. All of your SEO data is in one place, and it's easily shareable with your team. And so this is way less overwhelming. Like, look at all these tabs on the side that are happening in the left-hand side here. And then it's like, look how much cleaner it is. And so Looker Studio isn't just for SEO data. It's also for like all different kinds of data, like Rebecca said, YouTube and all of these different platforms. You can bring all of that in, but overwhelming sometimes. So that's why for this product, we really wanted to narrow it down, because I'm having clients that are being like, hey, girl, how do I know if my SEO is working? Or like, where do I look at in Google Analytics? Where do I look at in Google Search Console? And I didn't have a really good solution to recommend people. But I also am not a genius in Looker Studio. I literally was like, Rebecca, I like can't even log in here without my eyes like rolling out of the back of my head. So that's why we kind of paired together, where it's like her genius in terms of like being able to set this up, being able to create custom dashboards and all of that. And we combined it with like, what do we need to focus on to get better SEO results? And so I mentioned before, but if you are just hopping on and you want to get the tea on the SEO data dashboard, the link to this product is in the video description box below. But Rebecca, can you give us an overview in terms of like, what questions can your data be answering? I feel like that's a huge thing.
Yeah. Oh, that's a huge thing. But we'll talk specifically about the template that we created. So for the SEO data dashboard, you're going to know what channel grouping is driving your traffic. So think about what bucket, right? If you're thinking about, okay, I'm marketing in all these different ways, what bucket is driving the most traffic? And then you're going to be able to take it one step deeper and see, okay, well, what source is driving traffic? You can also find out what events are converting. So say you have 3 or 4 opt-ins on your website and you're talking about all of them everywhere. You're going to be able to see which one is converting and from what source. The next thing that you'll be able to see, I'm trying to like run through the template in my head, like see it in my head. The next thing that you'll be able to see is your most visited pages. And this is important because you want to make sure those pages are up to date. You want to make sure that they have their best foot forward. So if there are some pages that are getting tons of traffic, but you didn't look at them since like 2023, you might want to put your little peepers back on them. The next thing that you'll see is keywords. So you'll learn what keywords are actually driving traffic to your business. So, what you're ranking for. And then you can also see like what improvements you need to make. What are keywords you really thought you would be knocking out of the park that you're just not yet. You'll be able to see, paired with the training and the data that you give them, what to do next, how to make improvements. You also can see on one page of the report, this was probably my favorite page of the report. So on one page of the report, you can see your Google Analytics data from that page paired with your Google Search Console data from that page. So if you're like slaying it, you've been working so hard on your content, you can see, am I driving traffic to this page appropriately? And what conversions are happening on my page? And what keywords are driving traffic to my page?
Yep. Yeah. There's so many good things. And like, I basically word vomited to Rebecca everything that I wished was in one dashboard. And she was really able to bring this to life. And like, what I wanted in the dashboard was based on me, an SEO person who like really wants to be able to see this data in a way that like actually makes sense and like feels easy. Because like I said, when you're logging into Google Analytics, you're logging into Google Search Console, it can be overwhelming for me sometimes. And like I play in the data realm a lot. And I'm just like, is there a way to be able to look at this and then make decisions? And so that's kind of where my genius comes in, is like, okay, so we have the template and we have these questions that we can answer. And then I'm kind of walking you through, okay, but like, what do we do with this information? And then it's like, what other questions can we ask? And so this product is meant to really help you make decisions that make sense for your business, for your website, for your SEO, because I see it a lot where people are just like doing random things and then they don't know if they're actually helping their SEO. And so that's why we really went into answering the questions of like, what am I actually being found for on Google? Am I on page 1 or am I on page 10? Which pages on my website are visitors already loving? So that can give you some insight in the traffic that is coming there, where it's like, do we want to double down on that? Or are we realizing, shit, maybe I'm not sharing the right kind of content everywhere else if these people aren't sticking around long enough and all of that. And then if you updated something on your website, did that help with SEO? Are we seeing an increase in results in certain numbers? Is Google showing a new page in search results yet? That's what I get asked quite a bit. And then another one is, are AI bots recommending me to people? So we actually added something that goes into the dashboard too, which people are asking a lot more now as the AI bots tend to like move towards driving traffic to people. And so the data is just so helpful at like allowing you to not waste your time, because marketing takes time. There's no way around that. Like, you got into this doing paid ads and stuff like that. And that's a way, if you throw money at things, you can usually experiment or iterate quicker. Organic can take a little bit more time to be able to build up those results. So we wanted to create something that can help you make decisions based on what's already happening.
Yeah,
Is there
absolutely.
anything else that you want to add? I feel like I just went on a tangent.
Yeah, you nailed it. You did it. You just told the people all the things. I mean, I think just reiterating your point about how important data is. You can't move something that you're not measuring. So if you can't see what's actually happening, there isn't a way to make a good decision. You know, we hear data backed decisions all the time, or data driven decisions. And I think a lot of times people are like, okay, cool, but like how? Well, the first step is to be able to read the data. And that was part of the dashboard. Reading Google Analytics and Google Search Console almost feels like a totally different language. You're like, really cool, what does this mean? This dashboard, especially after you've branded it to your business, which we walk you through how to do. So if you didn't think Mariah's dashboard was like your jam, you wouldn't think mine's your jam because it's like purple and green and orange. You have a set of brand colors, and anything that's branded feels good, right? Like if you get a pin that's in our brand, sticky notes in our brand, it's like, oh, yes. So once you've walked through the video and branded your dashboard, it's going to be that much easier to read. So not only do the charts and the tables make it easy to read, but once it looks like it's yours and it, you know, you have that like personal connection to it, it's going to be so much easier to make decisions.
It's crazy because, to be honest, when you were like, yeah, I want to show people how to customize the dashboard, I was like, is that really going to make a difference? Is that like for real? And then I did it with myself, and y'all, I'm not lying. I literally was like,
you sent me a screenshot and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was so excited that I literally couldn't help myself. I was like, oh my God, look at my dashboard. It's so cute. And I was like, why am I like this? And I'm like, I think that it's a human thing. We like things that like we can connect with and have a personal connection with. And like, even though it's data and it ain't cute, well, like now it's actually connected to my business. And so I think that it actually does make a difference because now I'm excited to log in and to look at things because I'm like, oh, this is mine. Like, it's no longer just like floating in the abyss of like somebody else's random data.
I think data is so like big and large, or we think about it big and large that way, right? And then by branding it, you made it small, you made it succinct, you made it make sense to yourself. Like we left it black and white, but I think you wouldn't use it, you know, like you as in like any human, you're not going to look at it. Mine is definitely branded. Like when I build custom dashboards, I like get the initial data in there and I'm like, okay, we got to put this in their brand colors. So I'm like excited to make it make sense for them. So yeah, you're right though. It does seem kind of silly at first when you think about it, like, okay.
It does. And then it literally is like a complete 360 there. Okay. So you brought up like your clients. So like what we have created here is the SEO data dashboard. It's a template that you can use to pull in your information, but you actually specialize in creating custom dashboards for people. Can you walk us through like, what does that entail? And like, how is that different than what we have with the SEO data dashboard?
Yeah. So the SEO data dashboard is your basics. It's what is Google Analytics telling me from a basic standpoint? What is Google Search Console telling me from a basic standpoint? It's perfect if you aren't using data to make decisions. If numbers are make you a little sweaty inside, this is a perfect way to get started. If you're a business owner who is already making data-backed decisions, or you're ready to just like go full send, the custom dashboards, they are more detailed. So they're going to show you like specifics about your opt-ins. You know, we talked about how you could see which opt-ins were converting. The custom dashboards break it down based on your opt-ins. We do the same thing for products. So if you have digital products, you can see what's driving traffic to the landing page, what's driving actual conversions, because sometimes those might be different things. And that means that you need to market in like a different way. We also do sales dashboards. All of these are custom specific to your business. So I'm just trying to pull out the things that like I've done for multiple different clients. So sometimes we have some sales dashboards. So if you're selling digital products and that's like your business model, you want to know when you're selling them, is there like a cyclical, seasonal pattern that you can find for each digital product? I also do membership data. So if you have a membership and you're looking to figure out like how long people are staying with you in which tier, if your platform allows it, you can also see how people are interacting with your membership. So like Circle connects to Google Analytics, and we can see how long people are spending in each of the sections, which is really cool.
Whoa. I didn't know that you could do that. That's incredible.
Yeah. Super cool. And then the last dashboard I just completed, is for a consultant who spends a lot of time making YouTube and LinkedIn content, and he wanted to know which YouTube videos were driving traffic. So we pulled in YouTube data, but then we also did some data blending so that he can see what type of YouTube is driving traffic. Maybe it's a mini webinar, maybe it's a tutorial, maybe it's his talking head. So he has those options and ways that he can look at data to make decisions about where he's spending his time.
Wow, incredible. So as y'all can see here, I'm just screen sharing. This is literally like Rebecca's website. You can go to threegrovesmarketing.com and you should be able to click around and find this. But these are just examples of like screenshots of different people's data dashboards that Rebecca was able to go ahead and create. And like, that's the main difference. So like the SEO data dashboard is very specific. Google Analytics, Google Search Console, very specific to SEO. But you can get a custom dashboard from Rebecca, who literally like she takes into account your entire business, like where you're showing up on socials or not showing up on socials, what you're doing. Are you showing up in summits? Are you being a podcast guest? And I don't even know about the community options, but like it's having this and then having like a Looker Studio dashboard where you just go and you check things based on your business and your goals is going to save you a shit ton of time. So I know that this is not supposed to be like a commercial for Rebecca's custom data dashboards, but like it's incredible. So if you're maybe not at the place where this feels as helpful yet, or maybe you're nervous about it, you're like, I don't even know if I got enough data for her to be able to like do this thing, then test it with the SEO data dashboard. That's why we created it, is because we want you to be able to take a look at things, get comfortable with data. And then maybe when you feel really good about taking a look at this one, maybe you reach out to Rebecca and have her create a custom one for you. But creating these is really like, I mean, we've said it a million times, right? Like it just helps people make decisions in a way that is aligned with their business. So you don't have to listen to all of the BS happening on YouTube, on social media of people telling you what to focus on, because you have the data to back it up. And like you said, with one of your clients, it literally like gives them the permission slip to be like, I love this, or maybe I hate this. Or it's like, if you're looking at your data, I want to bring up this example quick, but like if you're looking at your data and you're kind of like, wow, this is driving incredible results. And then you get clear with yourself and you're like, but I hate doing it. It sounds awful. The data can help you be able to make decisions, because it might not be, hey, let's just toss a strategy out. Like, let's write off Pinterest forever. Maybe it's, hey, can we take a look at like how we're utilizing Pinterest? Do we need a system set up? Should we hire this out to somebody? And it just helps you make decisions as like the CEO and like the founder of your business, instead of just like the person that's doing the thing on the day-to-day. Like, is that the biggest thing that you see from your clients, is like permission giving, but like being able to like restructure their business, maybe like depending on the data? I feel like that's a huge thing.
I think it's about like stepping into your leadership role, you know? So yes, it's permission giving, but then also you get to be a leader, the kind of leader that you want to be. So your dashboard is going to help you show up even more in alignment with your values. And like you just said, before you spend any time, money, or energy, look at your data, see what it's telling you, read the story, maybe journal about it, noodle about it. Maybe you might need to have a bath and think about it, but use your facts and your feelings to make decisions instead of just like vibing. I mean, vibes, I think, get you so far, you know, so if you know you've gotten so far, you've gotten where you've gotten just based on vibes alone, and you're ready to take another step, you want to be somewhere else, maybe you want to pivot, you want to go a different direction, using data is a fantastic way to do those things.
Yep, I agree. So that's why the SEO data dashboard, that's kind of why we created it, is like that stepping stone. And like I said, there wasn't an option in the market. Like Google Analytics, the old version of it used to be able to create custom dashboards in it. But since GA4 came out, you can do it, but it's literally the most overwhelming thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And so I haven't found a good option to use for myself or to recommend to clients and to students. And so that's why we created this and kind of teamed up, because there is not an option on the market like this right now. And so, like I said, we've mentioned it quite a few times, but if you want to give it a little sneak peek, you can check out the link in the video description box below. And so if you snag it by the end of the day on July 6th, you can save $50. So the dashboard will be $97 with that $50 off. So the regular price is going to be $147. So if you snag it by the end of this weekend coming up, you can save yourself $50. It's currently on pre-sale, so you won't actually get access to the information until July 11th. We're still tweaking some things behind the scenes, but we've had quite a few people buy it and they're really excited about it. I've had somebody reach out and be like, hey, can I buy this for my clients? And so they're really excited. We're really excited. But I think that's it. I think we're ready to wrap this up. But if you guys want to take a look at the SEO data dashboard, like I said, the link is in the video description box below. But Rebecca, is there anything else that we want to mention?
No, I think we covered it all. I think we did a great job.
Okay.
I think.
Perfect.
Explaining what was going on.
Awesome. Okay, so if you haven't already, like this video, you can comment below. I'm like having something in my throat as we're landing the plane here. Oh God. And so like the video, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe to Rebecca's channel. We would love, love, love your support. And if you're interested in the SEO data dashboard, be sure to snag it by the end of this weekend. After the pre-sale, it will still be available. You just won't be able to get the $50 off. But other than that, I think we're going to close this episode down. So like the video, subscribe, check out the SEO data dashboard, y'all, and we will see you hopefully inside of the product and hopefully on our YouTube channels or in another YouTube live. See ya.
Yeah.